Hey team, so we just got done filming the countertop side seam class, to be officially named.
Gotta figure out a name.
Naming classes is the hardest part of what we do. I just want to be really honest with you
It's
about
fun,
that.
though.
So if you have a great name suggestion for a class, please send it our way. We can totally rename things later on. But what I really wanted to talk to you about was, so this class is all about bowing a stretch through the lat area, or the lat sort of shoulder to pelvis, one side line. And one of the things Will talks about in the video is how like that will affect your ability to round your low back or arch your low back. So we didn't spend a ton of time talking about this because we didn't want to have you hanging by your hands forever. But when you're in that countertop stretch and you turn your skis and you're hanging out, for me, I get a good stretch here, but if I tuck my tail under, oh mama, that's a whole different situation. And I don't know if you can actually even see a real change in my body there. It might just be like really microscopic. But for me, really tucking my tail opens up a whole new world of kind of extending that lat stretch. So just wanted to really highlight that you can play around with the position of your pelvis and your low back, thinking of tucking your tail under or lifting your tailbone to find where you get the most juicy line of tension to work with.
Yeah, and I want to just like underline the fact that Hannah is an extremely practiced practitioner and technician for like her own body, but also coaching other folks. And she is still uncovering new areas to bow and to stretch.
Yeah.
So just such a reminder that, you know, like one of our colleagues likes to say, you can only bow what you know in terms of what you have control over.
Awesome.
So if you are starting this out and you're like, I feel a super stretch right here and nothing else, don't let that be a static mindset. Like really realize that the mindset and the sensations you feel will change as you dive into this stuff.
For sure.
And there's just so much to be gathered and to be gained by coming back and hunting for those stretches. So that's why we encourage it so much.
And I think also just moving out of the like doing it right versus doing it wrong mentality. We talk about this a lot, but I think especially when you're hunting for a stretch sensation, there are places that could technically be called wrong. We wouldn't call them wrong. We'd just say, oh cool, we're not getting the target tissue. But within that target tissue line, there are a lot of right answers that'll be different from one person to the next. I used to only feel a lat stretch up in my armpit. I couldn't feel anything down into my ribs. That was like a just no-go space. As I've been doing more of my maximal expansive breathing practice, I suddenly have more awareness of this space. So all of these pieces connect together, and just be curious, as we always invite you to be. Be curious about what is available to feel, and if you're not feeling the same thing as me or someone else next to you, doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. And if you ever want to clarify if you're feeling good stuff versus not productive stuff, please be in contact with us.
Yeah.
We'll clear that up for you.
We love that. All right.